And good morning, everybody, and welcome to DMS 3000 News Live. And this is episode number 34 for Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. And I am your host, Brandon Martin, for today, tomorrow, and on Friday. On today's program, we'll be talking about the actor and comedian Paul Reubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, who passed at the age of 70 years old on last Monday. That'll be at the 5:30 hour. Then at the 6 o'clock hour, we'll talk about the 22nd anniversary of the movie The Sixth Sense. And then at the 6:30 hour, we'll be talking about the 59th anniversary of Gulf of Tonkin incident. And then we'll have the last 15 minutes of This is an Editorial. And plus the headlines, sports, and other important informations. And basically what day is today. So with that, let's go ahead and get started for the headlines for Wednesday, August the 2nd, 2023. Former President Donald Trump was indicted Tuesday on charges he led a web of conspiracies with the ultimate goal of overturning the 2020 election results. Read this if you need to get up to speed. Excuse me. Millions of people in the U.S. have a genetic variant that raises their risk of cancer. Genetic testing can help people find cancer earlier and seek treatment, but many patients aren't offered it. In Orlando, Vice President Harris rejected Governor Ron DeSantis' invitation for a discussion about the state's new curriculum on slavery, calling it an unnecessary debate. Mandy Cohen led North Carolina's Department of Health and Human Services, throughout the pandemic. Now she's taking what she learned to the national level. Florida's new strict immigration law threatens the state's economy and could hurt political ambitions for some GOP candidates. Vendors at a popular flea market are already seeing the impacts. Ooh, excuse me. My word. Okay, there we go. When migrants from Latin America were flown from Texas and dropped off in Sacramento with nowhere to go, a group of congregations came together to care for them. State attorneys general vowed the funds would go toward tackling the addiction crisis, but as with the tobacco payouts of the 1990s, local officials have started using them to fill budget shortfalls. France, Italy, and Spain announced evacuations for their citizens and other Europeans. The U.S. has yet to announce evacuation plans for Americans, but some have left with the help of the Europeans. Tuesday night's drawing was the 30th straight without a winner. The lottery drought is due to poor luck and terrible odds. The chance of winning the Mega Millions jackpot is 1 in 302.6 million. And good morning, Dominic Williams. Hopefully you're doing well for this morning. And welcome to the program. One person was killed in a tour bus rollover involving over 50 people Tuesday in northern Arizona near the Grand Canyon West Skywalk, authorities said. As mentioned, Trump was charged with conspiracy to defraud the United States witness tampering, conspiracy against the rights of citizens, and obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. Fitch cut the federal government's top rating, citing rising deficits and a steady deterioration in governance over the last 2 decades. The action drew a sharp rebuke from the Biden administration. Special counsel Jack Smith spoke briefly about the indictment and praised the men and women who defended the U.S. Capitol on January 6. As mentioned, former President Donald Trump was indicted Tuesday by a federal grand jury on 4 counts related to efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election, according to court documents. Overstock bought Bed Bath & Beyond's intellectual property in bankruptcy court. Overstock CEO Jonathan Johnson said the company wanted Bed Bath & Beyond's name recognition. After the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021, members of the female tactical platoon came to America under a temporary humanitarian program. Many are now in immigration limbo. Matthew DePerno, the most recent Republican nominee for Michigan Attorney General, has been charged with undue possession of a voting machine and conspiracy. The Mega Millions jackpot has reached $1.1 billion, the 4th highest jackpot in the game's history. X, the company formerly known as Twitter, is suing the Center for Countering Digital Hate, which has documented the spread of hate speech and viral falsehoods on social media. The man convicted of killing 11 worshippers and wounding 6 others at the Tree of Life Synagogue in 2018 could face the death penalty. The attack is the deadliest anti-Semitic assault in U.S. history. Her genetic material, taken without her knowledge in 1951, has helped facilitate numerous scientific breakthroughs, including the development of the polio and the COVID-19 vaccines. And Angus Cloud's portrayal of Fez, a thoughtful and laconic drug dealer on HBO's Euphoria, endeared him to fans and launched a career that was still rising. He died Monday at the age of a young 25 years old. That's too young. Dang. How's it going, Valdez, BTW? How's it going with you? Good morning. Hopefully you're and welcome into the program. And now we go on to the sports. Excuse me. For the sports, let's go ahead and take a look at that right here and right now. Framber needs only 93 pitches to throw MLB's third no-no of 23. It was Houston's first complete game no-no since Verlander's in 2019. Oh, come on. There you are. Celebration started in the morning for the Astros, who found out via social media and group text that future Hall of Famer pitcher Justin Verlander was headed back to H-Town. The Astros had swung a blockbuster trade to bring back Verlander in a push for the playoffs with an eye on another long run in October. That turned out to be only the precursor to an unforgettable Tuesday for the Astros, a day capped by pitcher Framber Valdez. Throwing the game of his life, Valdez became the first left-handed pitcher in franchise history to throw a no-hitter by holding the Guardians to 1 walk while facing the minimum 27 batters. in the Astros 2-0 win over Cleveland at Minute Maid Park. Only a leadoff walk to Oscar Gonzalez in the 5th inning. Only 2 3-ball counts, only what Valdez reached, kept Valdez from throwing a perfect game. Gonzalez was wiped out on a double play. Valdez never threw more than 14 pitches in an inning, including 6 pitches in the 6th and 5 in the 7th, and finished with 93 pitches, qualifying him for a Maddox. Obviously, I had a couple of rough starts before this one, and for me, the biggest thing was just continue working hard, continue with my focus, and knowing that I was going to be able to get back to where I was before then, said Valdez, who had a 7.00 ERA in his previous 5 starts. The no-hitter is the 16th in Astros history and the first complete game no-no since Verlander threw his 3rd career no-hitter on September 1st, 2019 at Toronto. The Astros threw 2 combined no-hitters last year, including one in Game 4 of the 2022 World Series and games started by Christian Javier. It's a wonderful day. Astros manager Dusty Baker. He started out with a bang. You could tell he was on and he stayed on a lot of times. Framber will start off great and have a rough inning somewhere in between there. But today his concentration was at a superior level. Concentration has always been the key for Valdez, who signed out of the Dominican Republic for $10,000 at age 21, a late bloomer. He battled control problems in his first 2 years in the big leagues in 2018-2019, but turned his career around when he started regular visits with a sports psychologist, there we go, who taught him cues to control his motions and breathing exercises. He's developed into one of the best left-handed pitchers in baseball. He made his 2nd All-Star game this year, but he is still vulnerable at times to lapse in focus. I think the last couple of games I just wasn't as focused as I could have been, and I'll be the first to admit that, he said. Today I just came very focused, very positive, and ready to lay it all on the field. I felt my repertoire was pretty good with my curveball, my changeup, my sinker. All my pitches felt like they were working today, and I was able to throw strikes. I just threw strikes without any fear tonight. The only runs the Astros scored came in the 3rd inning when on the pitch, following a wild pitch by the Guardians starter Gavin Williams. Kyle Tucker looped a single to center to score Jose Altuve and Jeremy Pena. Valdez took it from there. The Guardians never really came close to getting a hit off him. Valdez got 16 swings and misses while relying mostly on his curveball and sinker. Cleveland got hit 4 balls harder than 95 miles an hour and struck out 7 times. Valdez recorded 12 ground ball outs and 3 flyouts. I knew he was going to pitch really good after his warm-up, said catcher Martin Maldonado, who caught his first career no-hitter, where he was executing pitches even from the warm-up. I knew it was going to be a good day. Not for a no-hitter. The tough thing about no-hitters is they put the ball in play a lot, and it is tough to strike out a team. It was kind of hard to think about from the beginning. But by the 6th inning, when Valdez had thrown only 66 pitches, Maldonado thought Valdez had a shot. I knew he had a chance at 9 outs, he said. Still, the 3rd time through the lineup can be treacherous. Valdez made it look easy. He was at 71 pitches after the 7th, threw 10 pitches in a blink of an eye, 8th, and got a standing ovation from the crowd of 33,703 when he came out to the mound in the 9th. We were contemplating about getting closer, Ryan Presley, up in case he got in trouble, but I said no because Framber is very aware when guys are getting up in the bullpen, Baker said. A couple of times he's like, man, why did you get somebody up? I had only 75 pitches. Looked at me and Miller said no, and I said no. We were not even going to get anybody up. That was his game. Valdez got Gabriel Arias to ground out the second base for the first out of the ninth. Then former teammate Miles Straw flied out to center for the second out. The anticipation was high as Cam Gallagher came to bat. He hit a soft line drive to Pena at shortstop for the final out. The Astros rushed the team to congratulate Valdez. Fireworks went off in the outfield. Let the celebration begin again. When I got to the seventh inning, I thought to myself, okay, I think I could finish this game without any hits. Valdez said. Got the eighth inning and still felt good. Felt like it was still the first inning. So I said I'm going to continue attacking the hitters and try to do my best out there. And that was Brian McTaggart. Has covered the Astros since 2004 and for MLB.com since 2009. And we might look at some best deals of the 2023 trade deadline. So we're not going to get into a whole lot. We know the Rangers acquired Max Scherzer from the Mets for minor league infielder Luis Angel Acuna. Then you also got Astros acquired pitcher mentioned Justin Verlander from Mets for minor league outfielder Drew Gilbert and Ryan Clifford. Angels acquired pitcher Luis Giolito and pitcher Reynaldo Lopez from the White Sox for minor leaguers catcher Edgar Quero and Kai Bush. Blue Jays acquired pitcher Jordan Hicks from the Cardinals for minor leaguers pitcher Adam Kloffenstein and Sem Roberts. Rays acquired pitcher Aaron Civale from Guardians for minor league first base Kyle Manzardo. Rangers acquired pitcher Jordan Montgomery and pitcher Chris Stratton from Cardinals and for pitcher John King and minor leaguers pitcher Takoa Roby and infielder Thomas Segis. Excuse me. Angels acquire first baseman C.J. Cron and outfielder Randall Grichuk from the Rockies for minor leaguers pitcher Mason Albright and Jake Madden. We look at the Cubs acquired third baseman Heimer Candelario from the Nationals for minor leaguers infielder Kevin Made and pitcher DJ Hers. Marlins acquired infielder / designated hitter Jake Burger from the White Sox for minor league pitcher Jake Eder. Diamondbacks acquired Paul Sewald from the Mariners for infielder Josh Rojas, infielder / outfielder Dominic Canzone, and minor league infielder Ryan Bliss. Dodgers acquired Lance Lynn and pitcher Joe Kelly from the White Sox for outfielder Trace Thompson and minor leaguers Nick Nestrini and Jordan Lesher. Orioles acquired pitcher Jack Flaherty for minor league infielder Cesar Prieto and Drew Ron. Padres acquired Rich Hill, and that's for pitcher, and first base G-Man Choi from Pirates for pitcher Jackson Wolf, first baseman Alfonso Rivas, and outfielder Estuar Suero. Diamondbacks acquired outfielder Tommy Pham from Mets and for minor league infielder Jeremy Rodriguez. Brewers acquired outfielder / first baseman Mark Canha cash from Mets for minor league pitcher Justin Jarvis. Marlins acquired pitcher David Robertson for minor leaguers infielder Marco Vargas and catcher Ronald Hernandez. Marlins acquired Josh Bell, the first baseman / designated hitter, from the Guardians for infielders Gene Segura and minor league prospect Khalil Watson. Padres acquired first baseman / designated hitter Garrett Cooper from the Marlins for pitcher Ryan Weathers and minor league pitcher Sean Reynolds. Blue Jays acquired Paul DeJong for minor league pitcher Matt Swanson. Rangers acquired Austin Hedges from the Pirates for international bonus pool money. Padres acquired Scott Barlow from Royals for right-handed pitcher Henry Williams. San Diego number 10 prospect for Jesus Rios. Giants acquired outfielder A.J. Pollock and infielder Mark Mathias from Mariners for PT and or cash considerations. It's a big-time name, but we'll see. Braves acquired infielder Nicky Lopez from the Royals for pitcher Taylor Hearn. And let's go ahead and just look at the scores right here, right now. And let's look at that right now. Oh, come on. Load up. There it is. Took a little while, but it's all good. And I'll go to a new tab. Just trying to go over the standings for the MLB. So let me take a look in here. So there we go. And get the standings after I do the scores from last night. As the Phillies beating the Marlins 3-1. The Pirates beating the Tigers 4-1. The Tampa Bay Rays beating the Yankees 5-2. And I'll say it. The Yankees lose. Brewers beating the Nationals 6-4. The Orioles mollywopped the Blue Jays 13-3. Goodness. The Braves beating the Angels 5-1. Twins beating the Cardinals 3-2. The Cubs mollywopped the Reds. So goodness sakes almighty. 20-9. The Rangers beating the Chicago White Sox 2-0. The Astros beating the Guardians, as mentioned, 2-0. The Royals beating the Mets in the final 10 innings, 7-6. The Padres beating the Rockies 8-5. The Red Sox beating the Mariners 6-4. And they have the Giants beating the Diamondbacks 4-3. And the Dodgers beating the Athletics 7-3. Look at the MLB standings right now. Baltimore is still holding on to 1.5 game lead over the Rays. Toronto's in third. Boston's fourth. And Yankees lost 3 in a row. My word. Same with the Blue Jays. And that's for the American League East. For the Central, the Twins still have a 2-game lead over the Guardians. The Tigers third. Chicago White Sox fourth. And the Royals fifth. The Texas Rangers now have a half-game lead over the Astros. The Angels in third. The Mariners are not too far behind, just a half game behind the Angels. And the Athletics still last. Let's look at the National League right now. The Braves have the 11-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. The Marlins in third, the Mets fourth, and the Nationals fifth. The NL Central now, the Reds have a half-game lead over the Brewers. The Cubs third, Pirates fourth, and the Cardinals fifth. For the NL West, though, we have the Dodgers have a 2.5 game lead over the Giants. Diamondbacks battling for second place, 2 games behind the Giants. Padres 4th, and then wrapping it up is the Colorado Rockies in last. Look at the wild card right now. Tampa Bay and the Astros are still ahead. The third spot already is in there. That'll be Toronto. And the Red Sox are 1.5 games behind. Angels are also 3 games behind. Just 1.5 game behind the Red Sox. Yankees and the Mariners are 3.5. Just a half game behind the Angels. Guardians, the Tigers, White Sox, Royals, and the Athletics. National League, Giants and Phillies are in. Brewers are in. Not too far behind. The Marlins and the Diamondbacks are 1 game behind. Then you get the Cubs, the Padres, the Mets, Pirates, the Cardinals, Nationals, and the Rockies for that wild card. And we'll see what happens for today's game. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and take our first commercial break, as we will come back with what day is today and look at the legacy and the life of Paul Reubens, aka Pee Wee Herman. And we'll get to do both of them right after this.
Please pass the all fruit.
Pass the Polaner all fruit.
Pass the Polana all fruit.
Would you please pass the jelly?
Polaner All Fruit is real fruit, sweetened only with fruit juice. You'll call it delicious, you'll call it remarkable, but please, don't dare call it jelly. Polaner All Fruit, the spreadable fruit.
Worst part about shaving for me? Razor drag. Edge? No razor drag. Extra moisturizers and lubricants. Razors glide effortlessly across my bare skin. So smooth. Just glide. No hang-ups. It makes shaving feel so good. It makes shaving feel so right. Edge. Get some.
Jello pudding pops, Jello pudding pops, frozen pudding on a stick. You know, Jello pudding pops is a winner with all the soapbox racers I know.
It is?
Mm-hmm. And even your mechanic's getting all revved up about it because it's so rich and creamy.
Yeah.
And it always gets the green light from Mom because it's made with real pudding.
Jello brand pudding pops. All the goodness of real Jello pudding. So you know it's wholesome.
A true winner.
And it gets a green light from Mom.
Mom sure know how to make life easier. Mine was always there for me. Like another mom I know. This mom, Phillips Milk of Magnesia. M-O-M. The laxative that helps your body work naturally for easy overnight relief. Would Mom be harsh? No. And Mom's even easier to take with this dosage cup. See? Mom knows just what you need. So when you run into trouble, remember, nobody treats you better than Mom.
I bet you did something today you feel pretty good about. Bet you did. So go get your Mars bar. Come on, you deserve the best. Can't you just taste that rich milk chocolate, creamy caramel, and snuggle deep inside soft nougat? Big, fresh, crunchy nuts after nuts after nuts. This is what you deserve. You deserve every big, crunchy nut in a Mars bar. You did do something good today, didn't you?
Oh, man. Stop texting me, people. Huh? I'm over my limit. I get charged for each text now.
You should switch to Metro PCS. Text all you want for only $3 a month.
Oh, okay, right. And then your bill is hand-delivered by Bigfoot on a singing pony.
Sounds like make-believe, but it's not. Text all you want for $3 a month and no contract. Metro PCS.
Hello, hello, hello.
Unlimit yourself.
Hello, 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 and welcome back, everybody, to DMS 3000 News Live. Oh, man. that was funny. But either way, and once again, I am your host, Brandon Martin. And now we'll go ahead and take a look at what day is today, as we got 10 holidays listed. And everyone would love this one. National Ice Cream Sandwich Day. Yummy, yummy, yummy in the tummy. It's a simple thing, really, but oh, what deliciousness. You can't go wrong with an ice cream sandwich, though, for sure. Regatta Day, a holiday that depends on the weather. Earth Overshoot Day. Ever wonder how it will be if we run out of resources on our planet? Read on to find out. Excuse me, my goodness. National CAD Day. Let's find out the benefit of using computer aid design over manual drawing. And every kid will love doing this. National Coloring Book Day. Coloring is no longer just for kids, so break out those coloring books. National Hugh Day. The name Hugh is a boy's name, which evolved as a shortened version of Hughes. National Jacqueline Day. Today, let's get together to honor all the Jacquelines we know this National Jacqueline Day. Republic Day in North Macedonia. Stand in remembrance of the chain of events that allowed Macedonia to achieve independence. Take a penny / leave a penny day. It's a day about change, and where we're here to show you fun ways to celebrate it. And Virgin of Los Angeles Day. Let's celebrate and honor La Negrita with the locals of the Virgin of Los Angeles Day. And that is basically it for the what day is today. Now let's look at the actor and comedian of Paul Reubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, who passed away at the age of 70 years old. That was actually as of Sunday. Really shocking, though, by the way. But let's look at his life and everything else, his career. And we'll read this off. Paul Reubens was an American actor and comedian, widely known for creating and portraying the character Pee Wee Herman. Reubens joined Los Angeles troupe The Groundlings in the 1970s and started his career as an improvisational comedian and stage actor. It was with The Groundlings that Reubens developed the Pee Wee character. After a failed audition for Saturday Night Live, Reubens debuted a stage show starring Pee Wee, The Pee Wee Herman Show, in 1981. Excuse me. Pee Wee became an instant cult figure, and for the next decade, Reubens was completely committed to his character during all of his public appearances and interviews as Pee Wee. He produced and wrote a featured film, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, 1985, directed by Tim Burton, which was a financial and critical success. Its sequel, Big Top Pee Wee, in 1988, was less successful. Between 1986 and 1990, Reubens starred as Pee Wee in the CBS Saturday morning children's program, Pee Wee's Playhouse. In 1991, Reubens was arrested in indecent exposure in an adult theater in Sarasota, Florida. The arrest set off a chain reaction of national media attention. Though he received support from people in the entertainment industry, the arrest postponed Reubens' involvement in major projects until 1999, when he appeared in several big-budget projects, including Mystery Men and Blow. Reubens subsequently started giving interviews as himself rather than as Pee Wee. Reubens acted in numerous shows, such as Murphy Brown, 30 Rock, Portlandia, and The Blacklist. In 2010, he revived the Pee Wee Herman show, which he performed in Los Angeles and on Broadway. In 2016, he co-wrote and starred in the Netflix original film Pee Wee's Big Holiday, reprising his role as Pee Wee Herman. Rubin's Pee Wee character maintained an enduring popularity with both children and adults. Playhouse garnered 15 Emmy Awards during its initial run and was aired again on late-night television in the 2000s, during which TV Guide dubbed it among the top 10 cult classic television programs. Rubin died in July, which is basically on a Sunday, from cancer, a diagnosis which he had undisclosed to the public. Rubens was born Paul Rubenfeld in Peekskill, New York, on August 27, 1952, and grew up in a Jewish family in Sarasota, Florida, where his parents, Judy and Milton Rubenfeld, owned a lamp store. His mother was a teacher. His father was an automobile salesperson who had flown from Britain's Royal Air Force and for the U.S. Army Air Forces in World War II, and later became one of the founding pilots of the Israeli Air Force during the 1948 Arab and Israeli War. An Orthodox Jew, he was one of the 5 Jewish pilots to fly against Arab forces in smuggled fighter planes. Rubin's 2 younger siblings are Luke, who is a dog trainer, and Abby, who is an attorney and a board member of the American Civil Liberties Union of Tennessee. Rubin spent much of his childhood in Oneonta, New York. Almost about to say Florida, but I caught myself. As a child, he frequented the Ringling Bros and Barnum and Bailey Circus, whose winter headquarters were in Sarasota. The circus atmosphere sparked Rubin's interest in entertainment and influenced his later work. He also loved to watch reruns of I Love Lucy, which made him want to make people laugh. At age 5, Rubens asked his father to build him a stage where he and his siblings would act out plays. Rubens attended Sarasota High School, where he was named president of the National Thespian Society. He was accepted into Northwestern University summer program for gifted high school students, joined the local Oslo Theater Players of Sarasota Theater, and appeared in several plays. After high school graduation, he attended Plymouth State University for 1 semester before attending Boston University, after which he began auditioning for acting schools. He was turned down by several schools, including the Juilliard School and twice by Carnegie Mellon University, before being accepted to the California Institute of the Arts. Rubens moved to California, where he worked in restaurant kitchens and as a Fuller Brush salesman. In the 1970s, Rubens began performing at local comedy clubs, and starting in 1977, made 4 guest appearances on The Gong Show. As part of a boy-girl act he had developed with Charlotte McGinnis called The Hilarious Betty and Eddie. He soon joined the Los Angeles-based improvisational comedy team, The Groundlings. He remained a troupe member for 6 years, working with Bob McClure and John Paragon, Susan Barnes, and Phil Hartman. Hartman and Rubens became friends and often wrote and worked on material together. In 1980, Rubens had a small part as a writer in Blues Brothers. The character of Pee Wee Herman originated during a 1978 improvisation exercise with the Groundlings, where Reubens came up with the idea of a man who wanted to be a comic, but he was so inept at telling jokes and that it was obvious to the audience that he would never make it. Fellow Groundling Phil Hartman afterwards helped Reubens develop the character, while another Groundling, John Paragon, helped write the show, despite being compared to other famous characters such as Hergés Tintin and Collodi's Pinocchio. Reubens said that there was no specific source for Pee-wee other than a collection of ideas. Pee-wee's voice originated in 1970 when Reubens appeared in a production of Life with Father, where he was cast as one of the most obnoxious characters in the play. For this role, Reubens adopted a cartoon-like way of speaking, whose voice became Pee-wee's. Pee-wee's first name came from the 1-inch Pee-wee brand harmonica Reubens had as a child. And the surname, Herman, was the last name of the energetic boy Reubens knew from his youth. The first small gray suit Pee-wee always wore had been handmade for Groundlings director and founder Gary Austin, who passed it on to Reubens. The origin of the red tie is less clear, as Reubens claimed that someone handed him the little kid bow tie before a performance. And we look at the Pee-wee Herman show from 1981 to 1984. Then you have Pee-wee's Big Adventure in 1985. We look at 1986, 1991, Pee-wee's Playhouse, his public retreat and comeback, took in small parts from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Batman Returns, Matilda, and Dunstan Checks In. And he also voiced in Nightmare Before Christmas in 94. 93, actually, excuse me. Then recurring role TV series Murphy Brown. Cameo and guest appearances. He had Comedy Central with Reno 911, Miami for the film. Then appeared in the second music video version of the Raconteurs, Steady as She Goes. And got the revival and later work. And the undeveloped scripts. Then some legal issues. We all know that Reubens was a very, very heavy smoker. Hired security to make sure that children never saw him with a cigarette while in costume. Yeah, and I don't blame the kids. The security doesn't want to see him. Like, oh, that's bad for him. But yeah, he did for Parade TV. Then Midnight Madness, Blues Brothers, Cheech and Chong's next movie. Got Nice Dreams, Dream On, Pandemonium, Meatballs Part 2, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, we know that, Flight of the Navigator, Back to the Beach, Big Top Pee-wee, Batman Returns, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dunstan's Checks In, Matilda, Buddy, Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas. We have, as mentioned, Nightmare Before Christmas, Dr. Dolittle, Mystery Men, South of Heaven, West of Hill, Blow, Teacher's Pet, The Tripper, Reno 911, Miami, Life During Wartime, The Smurfs, Smurfs 2, Tom and Jerry's Giant Adventure, Scooby-Doo, Mecha Menace, Accidental Love, Pee-wee's Big Holiday. For television, we got Working Stiffs, The Flintstone Comedy Show, Steve Martin Comedy Is Not Pretty, Steve Martin's All Commercials, Mork and Mindy, The Pee Wee Herman Show, Fairy Tale Theater, Cheeseball Presents, got Saturday Night Live he hosted in 1985, Pee Wee's Playhouse, 227, Sesame Street, Pee Wee's Playhouse Christmas Special, Murphy Brown, Everybody Loves Raymond, You Don't Know Jack, Ally McBeal, Rugrats, The Groovians, Tripping the Rift, Campus Ladies, Reno 911, Reanimated, Area 57, 30 Rock, Dirt, Tim and Eric Awesome Show, Great Job, Pushing Daisies. Then you got Chowder, Batman, The Brave and the Bold, Adventure Time, Monday Night Raw. Oh yeah, see, did appear that as a special guest host. The Pee Wee Herman Show, Tron Uprising, Robot Chicken, Comedy Bang Bang, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Sanjay and Craig, Star Wars Rebels, Lego DC Comics, Batman Beleaguered, Venus and Ferb, American Dad, The Blacklist, Portlandia, Pickle and Peanut, Gotham, Pen Zero, Part-Time Hero, Voltron, Legendary Defender, Mosaic, Legends of Tomorrow, What We Do in the Shadows, The Connors. Oh, he also appeared in video games. The Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, Locke as the voice role, Minecraft Story Mode, Ivor, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Willard Wyler, and same scenario for Minecraft, but this is a season 2. Same guy. And good afternoon over there, Kevin in the UK. And welcome in. And yeah, basically, that's his life, his career, everything else through like movies, televisions. He was part of video game roles. I'm doing good, Kevin. Hopefully you're doing well. It's already in the afternoon where you're at right now. And we'll go ahead and take another commercial break though. And we're going to have that next one coming up, which is the 22nd anniversary of The Sixth Sense, the movie. I will when I get the internet back. Oh yeah, that's no problem. But yeah, I get you. But either way, we'll go to the 22nd anniversary of The Sixth Sense, the movie. We'll do that right after this.
Every day I wake up, pour myself a cup of that rich Folgers aroma. The best part of waking up, it's the do-up in all I do. The mountain aroma, always coming through. Oh, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Now I'm right in harmony with that do-up ditty. Whoa, one more cup and it's a who-up ship-up for me. Oh, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
There's There's a new winner in mustards. In a nationwide taste test, new Hellman's Dijonnaise Creamy Mustard Blend beat the leading mustard by 2-1.
You know, when I opened up that lunchbox and I saw that my sweetheart had made that ham sandwich with delicious new Hellman's Dijonnaise, well, I knew I was in love.
Oh, nothing beats new Hellman's Dijonnaise.
My brother says it's said to be square, and Elio's pizza's square. Really? And you break it up, and you stick it in the toaster thing, and tons of cheese goes blub, blub, blub. And the best part about Elio's is my brother has to make it for me, which is very convenient.
Elio's Pizza from McCain. Easier, cheesier, crispier.
And square.
Instant waxed shine as you dust. You've been hearing things like that for years. But is waxing all that instant when you only need to dust? Watch.
With spray wax, you have all this rubbing.
But there's no wax in Endust. It just coats your cloth with tiny beads that trap dust.
You just wipe, and it brings back the shine. Use wax when you have to, sure. But every time you dust, use Endust. It gets rid of dust in half the time of waxing.
I like the way you shine. Baby, it's understood. You're a good time all the time. You make me feel so good. I like the way you sweep the take me through a thirsty day. You're a welcome sight to see. You're a Washington apple.
Bite into the best.
A little taste of heaven to me.
Washington apples.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, just said your breath's the worst of all.
Brush your breath, brush your breath, brush your breath with Dentine.
Hey, a kiss for charity is really fine, but breath like yours isn't worth a dime.
Brush your breath, brush your breath, brush your breath with Dentine.
Not even mouthwash can freshen your breath more effectively than when you're chewing Dentine.
That baby's cute as a bunny rabbit, but he smelled your breath and let you have it.
Brush your breath, brush your breath, brush your breath with Dentine.
And we welcome you back to DMS 3000 News Live. And yet again, I am your host, Brandon Martin. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the 22nd anniversary of The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense is a 1999 American psychological thriller film written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Really tough pronunciation, but that's all right. It stars Bruce Willis as child psychologist whose patient, Haley Joel Osment, claims that he can see and talk to the dead. Released by Buena Vista Pictures through its Hollywood Pictures label on August 6, 1999. Critics praised its performances, atmosphere, direction, and twist ending. It was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay for Shyamalan, Best Supporting Actor for Osment, and Best Supporting Actress for Colette. The film established Shyamalan as a predominant thriller screenwriter / director and introduced the cinema public to its traits, most notably his affinity for surprise endings. It was the second highest grossing film of 1999, making roughly $293 million in the US and $379 million in other markets. Let's take a look with the whole plot. Philadelphia-based child psychologist Malcolm Crowe returns home with his wife, Anna. After having been honored for his work, Vincent Gray, a former patient Malcolm had treated for his hallucinations, breaks into their house and accuses Malcolm of failing him before shooting Malcolm and then himself. Months later, Malcolm begins working with Cole Sear, a 9-year-old boy who reminds him of Vincent. He feels he must help Cole to rectify his failure to help Vincent and reconcile with Anna, who has become distant and cold. Cole's mother, Lynn, worries about his social skills, especially after seeing signs of physical harm. At a birthday party, Cole is cornered by bullies who locked him in a cupboard, causing him to scream in terror before passing out. Following this incident, Cole finally confides to Malcolm that he sees ghosts walking around like the living. But they only see what they want to see and are unaware that they are dead. Malcolm thinks Cole is delusional and considers dropping his case. But after listening to an audio tape from a session with Vincent, he hears a man tearfully begging for help in Spanish and realizes that the ghosts Cole sees are real. He suggests that Cole try to communicate with the ghosts and help them finish their business, to which Cole hesitantly agrees. Cole awakens one night to discover a ghost girl vomiting. He finds out who she is and goes with Malcolm to the funeral reception at her home. Cole sneaks into the girl's room where she crawls out from under her bed and gives him a box containing a videotape, which he gives to her father. The tape reveals the girl's stepmother poisoning her food, alerting her father to this, and saving her younger sister from the same fate. Before parting ways with Malcolm, Cole suggests that he try speaking to Anna while she is asleep to communicate better with her. While stuck in traffic, Cole tells his mother his secret and says that someone died in an accident down the road. When Lynn does not believe him, Cole tells her his late grandmother visits him and describes how she saw Lynn in a dance performance when she was a child, giving details that he could not have known. Cole's mother finally accepts the fact that her son was a special ability and tearfully embraces him. Malcolm returns home to find Anna talking in her sleep, asking Malcolm why he left her. Much to his confusion, when she suddenly drops Malcolm's wedding ring, he notices that it is not on his finger. Recalling what Cole told him about dead people, only seeing what they want to see and not knowing they are dead, Malcolm finally realized he did not survive being shot by Vincent and has been dead while working with Cole. He quickly comes to terms with his death and tells Anna that he loves her. She bids him goodnight, indicating that she is now at peace and can move on. With his business finally complete, Malcolm's spirit departs in a flash of light. Bruce Willis as Malcolm Crowe, Haley Joel Osment as Cole Sear, Toni Collette as Lynn Sear, Olivia Williams as Anna Crowe, Donnie Wahlberg as Vincent Gray, Glenn Fitzgerald as Sean, Misha Barton as Kyra Collins, Trevor Morgan as Tommy Tamizimo, Bruce Norris as Mr. Stanley Cunningham, and Angelica Page as Mrs. Collins, Greg Wood as Mr. Collins, M. Night Shyamalan as Dr. Hill, Peter Tambakis as Darren, and Jeffrey Zubernis as Bobby. Look at David Vogel, then president of production of Walt Disney Studios, read Shyamalan spec script and loved it. Without obtaining corporate approval, Vogel bought the rights despite the price of $3 million and the stipulation that Shyamalan
could direct the film. Disney dismissed Vogel for his position at the studio, and Vogel left the company shortly thereafter. Disney sold the production rights to Spyglass Entertainment while retaining the distribution rights and 12.5% of the film's box office takings. During the casting process for the role of Cole Sear, Shyamalan had been apprehensive about Osmond's video audition, saying later he was this really sweet cherub, kind of beautiful blonde boy. Shyamalan saw the role as darker and more brooding, but felt that Osmond nailed it with the vulnerability and the need. He was able to convey a need as a human being in a way that was amazing to see. Willis was cast in the role of Malcolm Crowe as part of the deal to compensate the studio for Willis's role in the implosion of Broadway Brawler the year before. The color red is absent for most of the film, but it is used prominently in a few isolated shots for anything in the real world that has been tainted by the other world, and to connote really explosively emotional moments and situations. Examples include the door of the church where Cole seeks sanctuary, the balloon, carpet, and Cole's sweater at the birthday party, the tent in which he first encounters Kyra, the volume numbers on Crowe's tape recorder, the doorknob on the locked basement door where Malcolm's office is located, the shirt that Anna wears at the restaurant, Kyra's mother's dress at the wake, and the shawl wrapped around the sleeping Anna. All the clothes Malcolm wears are items he wore and touched the evening before his death, including his overcoat, his blue roaring sweatshirt, and the different layers of his suit. Though the filmmakers were careful about clues of Malcolm's true state, the camera zooms slowly towards his face when Cole says, "I see dead people." The filmmakers initially feared this would be too much of a giveaway, but left it in. Filming took place in streets of buildings of Philadelphia, notable of St. Augustine's Church on 4th and New Streets in Old City, and on St. Albans Street in Southwest Center City. Marissa Tomei was considered for the role of Lynn Sear. Michael Cera auditioned for the role of Cole Sear, and Leon Alkin was offered the role, but turned it down. After a 6-month online promotion campaign, The Sixth Sense was released on VHS and DVD by Hollywood Pictures Home Video on March 28, 2000, and went on to become the top-selling DVD of 2000 with more than 2.5 million units shipped, and the all-time second best-selling DVD title up until then, as well as the top video rental title of all time. The film generated at least $173,320,000, equivalent to the $295 million in 2022. From the U.S. home video market, including $125,850,000, equivalent to $214 million in 2022, from VHS rentals in the U.S. In the United Kingdom, it was the third most watched film of 2003 on television, with 9 million viewers that year. The Sixth Sense had a production budget of approximately $40 million, plus $25 million for print and advertising. During its opening weekend, the film grossed $26.6 million, making it the largest August opening weekend, surpassing The Fugitive. It would go on to hold this record for 2 years until it was overtaken by Rush Hour 2 in 2001. The film spent 5 weeks as the #1 film at the U.S. box office, become only the second film after Titanic to have grossed more than $200 million each for 5 weekends. With a total gross of $29.2 million, The Sixth Sense would hold the record for having the largest Labor Day weekend gross until 2007, when it was surpassed by Halloween. Excuse me. During Labor Day, it made $6.3 million, making it the biggest September Monday gross. Holding that record until it was beaten by It in 2017. It earned $293,506,292 in the United States and Canada, and a worldwide gross of $672,806,292, ranking it 74th on the list of worldwide box office money earners as of May 2022 when adjusting for inflation. Box Office Mojo estimates that the film sold over 57.5 million tickets in the U.S. In Europe, the film sold 37,124,510 tickets at the box office. In the United Kingdom, it was given at first a limited release on 9 screens and entered at number 8 before climbing up to number 1 next week, with 430 theaters playing the film. It had a record opening in the Netherlands. And all that, the accolades, critical response, everything else. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and take one more commercial break. And when we do come back, we'll look at the 59th anniversary of the Gulf Tonkin incident. And then we'll do the last 15 minutes of this is an editorial. And we'll take one more break. We'll do that right after this.
Its name of origin is Theobrahma, food of the gods, but we know it as chocolate. This may be the first time you've seen natural chocolate, and this may be the first time you've really tasted it. Breyers all-natural ice cream. Nothing artificial. Just fresh milk, real cream, pure sugar. So that true chocolate taste really comes through. Breyers ice cream. It's like tasting chocolate for the first time.
My health club always had Pert Plus in the locker room. It cleans, conditions. It's great. Then one day they switched. This one said it had conditioner in it, but my hair told a different story.
Some 2-in-1s don't lather as well or leave hair feeling as clean. Others don't fully condition. But Pert Plus's microbead conditioner leaves hair clean and completely conditioned.
So now when I go to my club, my Pert Plus goes with me.
Pert Plus. There's no 2-in-1 like this one.
What's this? Married 6 months and already your wife's using spaghetti sauce for jaw?
It's okay, Pop. This is Prego.
Prego, listen to me. The ingredients of a successful marriage. Garlic.
It's in there.
Little bits of real herbs and onions for that homemade taste.
Pop, look, it's in there.
And you need...
Whoa, huh?
It's in there.
100% natural Prego spaghetti sauce. Homemade taste. It's in there.
Enjoy extra sugar-free gum.
You get extra flavor, extra fun, in extra sugar-free gum.
Extra, the only leading sugar-free gum with NutraSweet, gives you extra refreshing flavor that lasts an extra long time.
Extra flavor for that extra long play. Extra flavor for that extra long day. When you chew it extra, the extra fresh flavor lasts an extra long time.
Extra lasts extra long.
Birch, beech, maple, hickory.
America's great hardwood trees. They help make smoked sausage made on the Hillshire Farm, America's great tasting smoked sausage. Hillshire Farm uses its own special blend of hardwood chips from these great trees to slowly, gently, delicately smoke its sausage right on the farm. They do it the old-fashioned way to give you all the flavor you want in a smoked sausage. That's how Hillshire Farm makes America's great tasting smoked sausage in Polska kielbasa.
And we welcome you back to DMS 3000 News Live. Once again, I am your host, Brandon Martin. And we can go ahead and go with the 59th anniversary of the Gulf of Tonkin incident. The Gulf of Tonkin incident was an international confrontation that led to the United States engaging more directly in the Vietnam War. It consisted of a confrontation on August 2nd to this date, 1964, when United States forces were carrying out covert operations close to North Vietnamese territorial waters, and North Vietnamese forces responded. The United States government falsely claimed that a second incident occurred on August 4th, 1964, between North Vietnamese and United States ship in the waters of the Gulf of Tonkin. Originally, U.S. military claims blamed North Vietnam for the confrontation on and the ostensible, but in fact imaginary incident on August 4th. Later investigation revealed that the second attack never happened. The official American claim that it was based mostly on erroneously interpreted communications intercepts. National Security Agency, a subsidiary of the U.S. Defense Department, deliberately skewed intelligence to create the impression that the attack had been carried out. On August 2nd, 1964, the destroyer USS Maddox, while performing a signals intelligence patrol as part of DESOTO operations, was approached by three North Vietnamese Navy torpedo boats on the 135th Torpedo Squadron. The Maddox fired warning shots, and the North Vietnamese boats attacked with torpedoes and machine gun fire. In the ensuing engagement, one U.S. aircraft, which was damaged, 3 North Vietnamese torpedo boats were damaged, and 4 North Vietnamese sailors were killed. With 6 more wounded, there were no U.S. casualties. Maddox was unscathed. Can't even pronounce that, but it is what it is. Except for a single bullet hole from a Vietnamese machine gun round. On August 3rd, 1964, destroyer USS Turner Joy joined Maddox, and the 2 destroyers continued the DESOTO mission. On the evening of August 4th, the ships opened fire on radar returns that had been preceded by communications intercepts, which U.S. forces claimed meant an attack was imminent. The commander of the Maddox task force, Captain John Herrick, reported that the ships were being attacked by North Vietnamese boats when in fact there were no North Vietnamese boats in the area. While Herrick soon reported doubts regarding the task force initial perceptions on the attack. The Johnson administration relied on the wrongly interpreted National Security Agency communications intercepts to conclude that the attack was real. While doubts regarding the perceived second attack have been expressed since 1964, it was not until years later that it was shown conclusively never to have happened. In the 2003 documentary, The Fog of War, the former United States Secretary of Defense Robert S. McNamara admitted that the supposed August 4th attack, for which Washington authorized retaliation, never happened. In 1995, McNamara met with former North Vietnamese Army General Vo Nguyen Glap to ask what happened on August 4th, 1964. Absolutely nothing, Glap replied. Glap confirmed that the attack had been imaginary. In 2005, an Internal National Security Agency historical study was disclassified. It concluded that Maddox had engaged the North Vietnamese Navy on August 2nd, but that the incident of August 4th was based on bad naval intelligence and misrepresentations of North Vietnamese communications. The outcome of the incident was the passage by U.S. Congress of the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, which granted U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson the authority to assist any Southeast Asian country whose government was considered to be jeopardized by communist aggression. The resolution served as Johnson's legal justification for deploying U.S. conventional forces to South Vietnam and the commencement of open warfare against North Vietnam. Look at the background. The Geneva Conference in 1954 was intended to settle outstanding issues following the end of hostilities between France and the Viet Minh at the end of the First Indochina War. Neither the United States nor the state of Vietnam signed anything at the 1954 Geneva Conference. The accords, which were signed by other participants, including the Viet Minh, mandated a temporary ceasefire line, which separated southern and northern Vietnam to be governed by the state of Vietnam and the Viet Minh respectively. The accords called for a general election in by July 1956 to create a unified Vietnamese state. The accords allowed free movement of the population between the north and south for 300 days. They also forbade the political interference of other countries in the area, the creation of new governments without the stipulated elections, and foreign military presence. By 1961, the South Vietnamese president Ngo Dinh Diem faced significant discontent among some quarters of the southern population, including some Buddhists who were opposed to the rule of Diem's Catholic supporters. Viet Minh political cadres who were legally campaigning for the promised elections between 1955 and 1957 were suppressed by the government. In March 1956, the North Vietnamese leadership approved tentative measures to revive the southern insurgency. In December 1956, a communist-led uprising began against Diem's government in April 1957. The North Vietnamese Communist Party approved a People's War on the South at a session in January 1959. And on July 28th, North Vietnamese forces invaded Laos to maintain and upgrade the Ho Chi Minh Trail in support of insurgents in the south. The rebellion, headed by the National Front for the Liberation of South Vietnam, under the direction of North Vietnam, had intensified by 1961. About 40,000 communist soldiers infiltrated the South from 1961 to 1963. The Gulf of Tonkin incident occurred during the first year of the Johnson administration. While U.S. President John F. Kennedy had originally supported this policy of sending military advisors to Diem, He had begun to alter his thinking by September 1963 because of what he perceived to be the attitude of the Saigon government and its inability and unwillingness to make needed reforms. Shortly before Kennedy was assassinated in November 1963, he had begun a limited withdrawal of 1,000 U.S. forces before the end of 1963. Johnson's views were likewise complex, but he had supported military escalation as a means of challenging what was perceived to be the Soviet Union's expansionist policies. The Cold War policy of containment was to be applied to prevent the fall of Southeast Asia to communism under the precepts of the domino theory. After Kennedy's assassination, Johnson ordered in more U.S. forces to support the Saigon government, beginning and put a protracted United States presence in Southeast Asia. A highly classified program of covert actions against North Vietnam, known as Operation Plant 34 Alpha, in conjunction with a DESOTO operations, had begun under the Central Intelligence Agency in 1961. In 1964, the program was transferred to the Defense Department and conducted by the Military Assistance Command, Vietnam Studies, and Observations Group. For the maritime portion of the covert operation, a set of fast patrol boats had been purchased quietly from Norway and sent to South Vietnam. In 1963, 3 young Norwegian skippers traveled on a mission in South Vietnam. They were recruited for the job by the Norwegian intelligence officer Alf Martins Meyer. Martins Meyer, who was head of department at the military intelligence staff, operated on behalf of U.S. intelligence. The 3 skippers did not know who Meyer really was when they agreed to a job that involved them in sabotage missions against North Vietnam. Although the boats were crewed by South Vietnamese naval personnel, approval for each mission conducted under the plan came directly from Admiral U.S. Grant Sharp Jr., CINCPAC in Honolulu, who received his first orders from the White House after the coastal attacks began. Hanoi, the capital of North Vietnam, lodged a complaint with the International Control Commission, which had been established in 1954 to oversee the terms of the Geneva Accords, but the U.S. denied any involvement. 4 years later, Secretary McNamara admitted to Congress that U.S. ships had in fact been cooperating in the South Vietnamese attacks against North Vietnam. In 1962, the U.S. Navy began an electronic warfare support measures program conducted by destroyer patrols in the Western Pacific with the cover name DESOTO. The first missions in the Tonkin Gulf began in February 1964. While intelligence collected by DESOTO missions could be used by OPLANT 34A planners and commanders, they were separate programs not known to coordinate mission planning except to warn DESOTO patrols to stay clear of 34A operational areas. On July 29, 1964, the night before it launched actions against North Vietnamese facilities on Han My and Han Ngu Islands of the MACV SOG has launched a covert long-term agent team in North Vietnam, which was promptly captured on August 1st and 2nd. Flights of CIA-sponsored Laotian fighter bombers, attacked border outpost well within southwestern North Vietnam. According to Edwin Moise, the Hanoi government had to give permission at the highest levels for the conduct of probably assumed that they were all a coordinated effort to escalate military actions against North Vietnam. There's basically the incident, though, and there's like the first attack along with the second attack. More information is in there if you want to check it out for you guys yourself. Then got the United States response. That's Johnson's speech to the American people. Reaction from the Congress. Distortion of the event. Then the consequences. Then the later statements about the incident. The NSA air report. And then also along with many others. That'll be basically it for the 59th anniversary of the Gulf of Tonkin incident. And you know what? Let's actually, even though it was our last break, you know what? Let's take a real last commercial break. And when we come back, let's do this is an editorial of talking about whatever I have something to say. And it's something that very much I can go consider that. But I'll get to that part right after this.
At the river mouth, the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon. Which is exactly what we at John West want. John West endured the worst to bring you the best.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamonds. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding. You can ship your pants right here. You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed.
If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Our unification as wolves is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Mr. Cow,
Yes?
how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know. I always end up biting. Ask Mr. Fox, for he's much cleverer than I.
Mr. Fox, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Why don't you ask Mr. Turtle, for he's been around a lot longer than I. Me? I bite.
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl, for he is the wisest of us all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's a smart owl.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Mr. Green? Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
Yeah, sure.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good. Makes me feel nice.
Be around.
That's the way it should be. I like to see
Hey, kid.
the whole world is smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a Coke and
Thanks, Mean Joe.
smile.
So you think Santa will like these red and green M&Ms?
I don't know. I never met the guy. He does exist!
They do exist. Santa?
Santa. Anyway, welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. And yet again, I am your host, Brandon Martin. And this is the time where this is an editorial. And I'll go ahead and put this disclaimer in the live chat right now. Even though it was a little earlier, but it's also in the description as well. Well, I'm just going to put this out there. There we go. Just doing this ahead of time. And I'll give credit where credit's due to my good friend Jason Canio for having the idea. Where I'm going to be talking about the death hoax of people dying and all that. I am not happy with this. People think that we say, for example, Simon Cowell passed away, and the website and certain groups that I'm a part of, or some people are part of, think that he passed away. In actuality, he did not pass away, and that's why I get real sick and tired of their shit, and I really am. Because, I'm going to put some fake passing away, though, for Simon Cowell or somebody else there. You are ridiculous, guys. You are ridiculous. And the thing is, was Pee Wee Herman a hoax? It was not. It was a real death. That we can confirm. We all know that. But again, I just don't get people who do stupid shit. And the thing is if you have nothing nice to say for the one who passed away, like Pee Wee Herman, don't fucking say it at all. Period. And you know what? And this is why people put this shit out there. And even some news like, oh, he passed away. In actuality, they did because they're still alive. And for you motherfuckers doing this bullshit, you keep it up because it's going to come and bite you in the ass. This is why people with death hoax and all that crap, this has got to stop. Which I know they won't do that because they're just too much chicken shit cowards for doing that crap. I'm just getting real sick of this crap. Like the trolls, for instance. I might be a little bit off topic, but you know what? I'll say it. To be on our channels. If you have nothing nice to say on regarding to the episode of the podcast and all that, then don't fucking comment on the video. And this is why impersonating other people like myself, many others on this platform. And this is why I recommend everybody who's hosting a show right here, right now, like say Rant Rape Podcast, we decided to do it on subscribers only mode. So that way the other people who are subscribed to the channel gets to comment on the live chat only. And we're making it 4 weeks because making it a month, because if you do subscribe, you're going to have to wait a month to comment. But still more than welcome to be watching. And you people are going to keep doing this. Massive fuck you to those people who wants to keep doing this shit. Like I said, keep it up. It's going to, someday, karma's going to be a bitch to you motherfuckers. And folks, like I said, I put in the disclaimer for a reason, and for this reason only, because I want to get this point across for those for death hoax like this. It really is. I'm just not happy. I'm just getting real sick and tired of this crap, and I'm not going to put up with this no more. And you know what? And I'll just say it. If you do put a death hoax on any of our channels, like this channel, the David 3000 Network, or my channel, or anybody else's channel, you're automatically going to get blocked and reported immediately. That will not be tolerated on this show or anybody else's show, like the Rant Rape Podcast itself and many other channels. That I am not going to tolerate it. And for those people who are dumber than a bag of dicks, don't know what death hoax is, let's just do a reminder to everybody. What is a death hoax? And I'll just read this. A death hoax is a deliberate report of someone's death that is later proven to be untrue. There you go. A deliberate report that is later to be proven untrue. true, meaning a false report of a death or faked a death. People, you don't get the bigger picture. I just don't fucking get this. And if you keep doing this, like I said, get off the fucking internet. Be off the internet for good. And think before you do stupid shit like this. You post false crap that is not true. Unless, like I said before, and I'm just going to say it, if I see a death in there, I'll be the first one to see it, like the real news are going to do the same thing. Not those other news and all that, like posting some other thing posted and all that crap. I'm just not happy with at this point. I really am. And you better stop with the shit. I am not fucking joking. I am not fucking kidding about this. And you think it's funny for you having the death, some celebrities being dead and all that, which they're not dead and still alive? You lost your fucking mind, and if you do not care, why the fuck are you here, you motherfucker? Why the fuck are you here then? Why the fuck are you here? I'm just going to say it for the record. You know, I'll say both of them, to be honest. It's basically, if I see a death, it's basically, I see it to believe it, if it's true or not. And if I see being funny about it and all that shit, like I said, you're automatically getting blocked. And get reported too. And like I said, death hoax is no fucking joke. This is serious. And if it's not, and it's saying it's false report, which it's like see it to believe it. And if it is really passing away or not, that's the first to know about the news report. I just want this to fucking stop. I really do. In actuality, they don't want to do that, but yeah, I'm done. But hopefully it's going to be a better, brighter note tomorrow morning. Better editorial. More positive rather than negative. But like I said, it has to be out there and get that done and over with. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and calm down now. But either way, coming up in about 16 minutes or so, we'll turn the reins over to Cole Johnson and Snowman. Talk about whatever it is, you know, with baseball. Even though they're talking about basketball, they're still about, my word, a couple more months away. Gosh. But still, hockey season is coming up as well. Football season is about another week or so to start preseason. Man, I'm excited for football. I cannot wait to do some live reactions, some play-by-play on my channel. Looking forward to that. Hopefully it's a better positive note tomorrow. then today we're going to move on and worry about the future right now. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching DMS 3000 News Live, episode number 34. And if you like this, please go and give us a thumbs up. And please like this video, leave a comment, and if you're brand new to the David 3000 Network, excuse me, make sure to subscribe, and also not forget to tap that notification bell under the David 3000 Network on your YouTube app so you'll never miss an upload or live stream. And for the burp goes to the haters, so that they deserve. But yeah, with that being said, though, I will see you guys tomorrow, and looking forward to tomorrow's interview before the episode 199 of the Rant and Rave podcast. And with that, you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. So thank you, and have a great morning. Bye-bye for now.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David 3000 Network for great more content like this one.